Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a really groundbreaking technique that's making AI way smarter and, more importantly, a lot more trustworthy. It's called Retrieval Augmented Generation.
All right, let's get right to the heart of the problem, because you've probably seen this. You ask a really powerful AI a question, and it gives you this beautifully written, super confident-sounding answer that's just completely and totally wrong. This thing actually has a name. It's called a hallucination. On one hand, we have this promise of AI as this oracle with instant, perfect answers. But the reality is a little different. The paper we're looking at today points out a huge flaw. Standard language models have all their knowledge basically locked in. They can't just easily update their memory of the world. So, to fill in the gaps, well, they just invent stuff. So how do you fix that? How do we keep these amazing creative AIs grounded in reality? Well, the solution these researchers came up with is just so elegant. It's called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. Okay, so here's the core idea. RAG is a hybrid. It basically mashes together the AI's internal memory, all the stuff it learned during training, with an external memory it can check things in. Think of it like giving it access to a huge, searchable copy of Wikipedia. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like an open book test. Instead of forcing the AI to remember every single fact perfectly, RAG lets it look up the relevant info right before it has to answer. And that simple change, it has massive implications for accuracy. So let's see how this actually works. The whole process can be broken down into two key jobs, and we can think of them as a librarian and a writer who are working together as a team. This two-step process is really the heart and soul of RAG. When you ask a question, first, the retriever, our super fast librarian, instantly goes and finds the most relevant articles from its knowledge base. Then, it hands those documents over to the generator, our writer, which uses your original question and the facts from those documents to put together a final, synthesized answer.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but, does it actually work in practice? Well, the researchers didn't just stop at the idea. They put RAG to the test in a series of really tough challenges against a state-of-the-art model called BART.
And wow, the difference is just crystal clear. When they asked about the Divine Comedy, the standard model makes a classic mistake. It hallucinates and repeats Purgatorio. But RAG, because it looked up the facts first, correctly names all three parts: Inferno, Purgatorio, and Paradiso. It's more specific, and more importantly, it's just correct. And this wasn't a fluke. The authors say it directly in the paper. Over and over again, on all kinds of knowledge-heavy tasks, RAG just flat-out beat the other model. The answers weren't just more factual, they were also more specific and way more diverse.
Then they asked actual people to judge the answers. And the results? They weren't even close. For questions like you'd see on Jeopardy, the human judges found RAG's answers to be more factual almost 43% of the time. The standard model? Just 7%. People can absolutely tell the difference.
Okay, this brings us to one of RAG's most powerful abilities. The world is always changing, right? New leaders get elected, new discoveries are made. How does an AI keep up without needing a complete multi-million-dollar retraining that takes weeks?
With RAG, it's kind of mind-blowingly simple. The researchers showed this by just swapping out its knowledge source. When they gave it a Wikipedia from 2016 and asked who the president of Peru was, it gave the right 2016 answer. Then they gave it a 2018 Wikipedia, and boom, it gave the correct, updated 2018 answer. You can literally hot swap its knowledge just by updating a file.
So here's the really big takeaway. RAG isn't just a small step forward, it's a completely different way of thinking about how we build and maintain AI systems that actually know things about the world. By forcing the AI to ground its answers in real retrievable facts, RAG slashes those hallucinations. Its knowledge can be updated in a few hours, not months. And this is huge. Because we know which documents it used, we can actually check its sources, which makes it way more trustworthy. This whole approach opens the door for AI in high-stakes fields like medicine or law, and it does it all with way fewer resources than those giant memory-only models. So by giving our AIs an open book, letting them tap into all of our collective knowledge, we've unlocked something new. We've made them more factual. So now the big question isn't just about what an AI knows, but what it can actually do with all that knowledge. And, that's really a question for all of us to figure out.